I have been following these big successful YouTubers now for around 5 years and have picked up on something that they all have in common after many years of success and growing their channels to huge numbers that we all wish we could reach. Many of these huge YouTubers end up saying, I quit, I'm rebranding.
I'm taking back my Catherine Manning channel. This channel is no longer going to be just a YouTube tips channel, and
I'm taking an indefinite leave.
Last year, I decided to leave social media and go ghost mode. I put up this announcement to my followers, letting them know that I was taking an indefinite break. I had no idea when I was coming back.
Or even, I'm abandoning my first channel and starting a new one.
I decided to, like you said, quit my YouTube channel and start a new one.
You ever wondered why? What do they now know after many years of doing YouTube that newbies that are starting YouTube nowadays don't know? And how can you make sure as a newbie YouTuber that you do not end up in their shoes? They all end up sharing one common goal that every seasoned content creator or YouTuber ends up wanting. And I'm going to disclose that in this video. I want to start off by saying I have immense respect for these content creators and where they have come in their careers. From my experience of doing this for longer than 6 years, I've learned to see things in a different light that I initially did not see as a newbie creator. And why you might think this may be relevant to you is because we all ultimately, as creative people, as content creators, aim to have one goal, which is creative freedom. Being able to create whatever you want to create and being paid for it without having to jeopardize who you are as a person and what you stand for. What's the first thing that school usually teaches you as a high school graduate or even college graduate of any sort? Career growth, career progression, and more money, right?
I started to feel like what I was building and what I had just simply wasn't enough. And I needed to do more in order to be at their level.
you know, I would take a look at my views every single day and I was like, okay, what YouTube video can I launch to get even more views? What YouTube video can I launch that's going to get me even more subscribers? It's going to make me even more money. I've realized that some of the videos I've launched, you know, I wasn't launching for me. I wasn't launching because I was passionate about them, that I really wanted to create them. I was launching them because I wanted to get more views. I started on this rat race of chasing the numbers, of chasing that satisfaction and just seeing how far I could go with my YouTube channel. I lost myself there.
But what we don't realize as people that just recently graduated is this something that we're gonna wanna keep doing for the rest of our lives, especially when you reach an age where you start to value time with your family more than you value time behind a computer. So that's the number one mistake that when we start a YouTube channel or we go in a business venture, is people don't usually think about whether they want to do this nonstop for the rest of their lives, to upkeep that sort of growth on YouTube, for example, to upkeep that sort of momentum, to keep bringing people back. This is one of the biggest things I learned on YouTube. The type of content you release at the beginning on your channel is what you need to keep going ultimately to keep those same audiences that subscribe to you at the beginning coming back. So if you have a high retention editing going on where you're spending 40 hours, 80 hours a week just editing one video, you're gonna have to keep that going forever. If you are growing from just having a talking head video with minimal editing, that's what you can actually keep going forever. So do what is sustainable. And I believe these ladies ultimately aimed high and reached mountaintops, and they just realized that's not something that they want to keep doing and is not bringing them joy anymore. More money, more zeros, whether it's financially or with subscribers or with views, is just not bringing that kind of satisfaction anymore. Another reason very seasoned content creators end up wanting to change is they start in a niche that they don't want to be in forever as well. So let's talk Catherine Manning. Catherine Manning started in the social media growth, specifically YouTube. That's how she blew up back during around you know what times. And if you look at her videos, they are very high retention, high editing kind of videos. And now she decided that that's not what she wants to do anymore. So she turned into a lifestyle vlogger, which completely takes a different kind of approach with editing. She has lost thousands and thousands of subscribers, and also her growth has definitely stabilized at this point. But I believe she is happier with the kind of viewers she has on her content and does have higher audience retention because the people that watch her content now are very much committed to her life and what Catherine Manning is doing rather than how can I grow on YouTube. And Vanessa Lau talks about how she's grown a huge coaching business, huge Instagram bam, huge channel. And she kept taking more and more and more and wanting to keep growing her business to a degree to where she couldn't do it anymore and decided to take an indefinite leave and do what makes her happy. She ended up coming back, and now she just strictly turns down lots of sponsorship opportunities just to do what fuels her soul rather than what fuels her wallet. The ultimate lesson in point 2 here is to start something that fuels your soul from the beginning rather than try to get big and then switch gears. Another very important point on what content creators, influencers, YouTubers do not consider is that a lot of newbie YouTubers, and I am so guilty of this, is you start a YouTube channel wanting to go viral. How can I go viral? How can I grow immense amounts of subscribers overnight and wake up and be rich and famous? And what you don't realize, especially for me, and I could tell you this from trying to grow for 6 years on my Mommy Shark channel as a vlogger, is that YouTube is a journey and it's not an end result. So basically you're always going to be on that hamster wheel, and it can ultimately affect your mental health. And I've had many downs on where I've been wanting to quit doing YouTube because it's stolen away so much of my time for not so much of a result, which I can talk about later. But you ultimately start to see that YouTube, especially if you want to do it long term, is passion, and it's a passion for creation, and it's not about I want to get paid huge amounts of money, because that might not come for a very long time. Which leads me into the last point. One of the biggest things is that YouTube stops becoming something you started out of passion, or even if you started it for a business, it stops becoming something you enjoy, and it just becomes a means to an end. And when something becomes means to an end, let's be honest, there's nothing that's going to keep you from continuing to do it. There was a very good podcast of a psychiatrist that is actually also a content creator, and he talks about how influencers, content creators are actually not as happy as normal people that have a 9 to 5, because with your 9 to 5 job, you know you're off of work at 5 o'clock, and then you can do whatever you want, whatever you please after 5 o'clock. Whereas as a content creator, and I am so guilty of this, you see everything that you're doing as a potential for content. So your brain never really turns off. You're always thinking, oh, that would make great content. Oh, I'm doing this today. That would make great content. Even if you're doing it at midnight, it can be a potential for you to think, how can I use this for work? How can this be great content? You've probably seen a lot of the why I quit YouTube videos out there, and there was definitely a big trend in big creators creating I'm quitting YouTube or why I'm quitting. I will be honest with you, lots of it is because people are truly getting burnt out and wanting to rebrand and wanting to start new channels, because I've released a video like that on my other channel, but ultimately decided not to quit my other channel and just start a new one and work on both at the same time. They are also the why I quit YouTube or content creation videos are very emotionally inducing videos. They're highly clickbaity, and they are meant to also grow audiences. That's the truth. There is a reason you watch this video all the way to the end. Some content creators would even say, gotcha. But not me. I'm just awesome. I actually also really want to tell you about this huge brand that ended up scamming me out of thousands of dollars, and that brand was never held liable. Definitely check it out in the next video right here.